The Elimination Chamber is the next premium live event, and it is the final stop before WrestleMania. So let's take a look at my Elimination Chamber early match card predictions. Welcome to the Burning Hammer. We upload new videos every Tuesday and every Friday. Plus, we upload a new short form video every single day of the week. So you're going to want to make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all of our social media so you never miss out on a video. The Elimination Chamber is the next premium live event for WWE, and it is a big one because it is the last one before WrestleMania. So there's going to be a lot on the line, and this is going to be a very important premium live event. Furthermore, the Elimination Chamber is one of the most dangerous and sadistic structures in the history of professional wrestling. You truly never leave this match the same as when you enter it. So over the past 5 or so years, they typically have anywhere between 5 to 6 matches on the Elimination Chamber match card, so I'm going to be giving you 6 matches. Now, it's a little tricky to figure out what matches are going to be taking place on this show because you're kind of in a weird position in terms of like being on premium live event schedules because you're just coming off the Royal Rumble, which is the start to the road to WrestleMania. However, you're also one premium live event away from WrestleMania, so a lot of the times you're kind of stuck in between of like figuring out if feuds are going to start at the Elimination Chamber or if the Elimination Chamber is going to be more of like a one-off feud, and then after that, feuds are going to begin for WrestleMania. So the first match I think is going to take place at Elimination Chamber is going to be Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits taking on Final Testament. Now, I know there's some reports going around about WWE trademarking the term The Pride, and people think that's going to be the name for the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. However, at the time of recording this, they are still not going by The Pride. Maybe that's changed by the time this video has come out, but I just think the Almighty Prophets is too easy of a slam dunk for them to not do that. So I'm kind of hoping that they just call them the Almighty Prophets because it's just simply too good. So these two teams have been feuding for a little while now, and this is honestly a kind of a feud that I think is a little bit slept on. I'm actually excited about these two teams because we don't really get that much of like faction on faction feuds. I know we get it before or whatever, but like it's not something we get very often, and so that's why I'm super excited for this feud because I do like Karrion Kross. I think he's kind of slept on. I think he's underrated. I think he's the product of being booked poorly, and obviously Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits are awesome. So I think that they're not necessarily heels anymore. I know they like attacked Rey Mysterio maybe a month or two ago, I think that was, and I think initially they were like trying to be heels, but then everybody just loves them so much. So I think that they are kind of now tweeners, maybe more leaning towards a babyface, and that the Final Testament are obviously going to be the heels in this feud. And I'm happy that the authors of Pain are back. I'm not sure if they were like still signed to the WWE for however long, 2 or 3 years they were gone for, or if they got released and then they re-signed with the company. If you have that information, let me know in the comments below. Now, we're slowly starting to get more and more screen time for this feud, which is nice, and I think it's ultimately going to lead to their match at the Elimination Chamber. They've just been fighting every time they see each other, and they've been doing more of like a slow build for these two teams, so that's why I think it's going to take place at the Elimination Chamber because it's kind of like a good holdover until we start feuds for WrestleMania. Plus, both of these factions absolutely rule, so I think they totally deserve a spot on a premium live event. So the next match I think is going to take place is going to be the Tag Team Championship match between the Judgment Day and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Honestly, I really like this team of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and I think that they're going to obviously have Grayson Waller on the card in some sort of capacity. And I think what better way to do it than to have them team up to try to take the tag titles off of Judgment Day. And who knows, they may even win. Now, I've never been more uncertain than in this very moment about who's going to win the tag titles next. It seems like every person they throw at Judgment Day, they just beat. So I honestly have no clue who's going to win the tag titles next. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory have been a focal point on SmackDown over the past month or two, or however long they've been a tag team. They've been a lot of fun. This is a tag team that wasn't supposed to last that long, but it did just because they're both so entertaining. Now, I know that both of these teams are kind of heels, but I think if you put Grayson Waller in Australia, which is where he's from, he's instantly going to become a babyface. Even if it's just for the night, they can return after this event and they'll still be heels. But I think that it's not really necessarily going to be a problem because I think at least just for this Elimination Chamber event that Grayson Waller and Austin Theory can at least play the tweeners, and then they can revert back to being heels following the show. So the next match that I think is going to happen at the Elimination Chamber event is going to be Master Gable, oh thank you, challenging Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. So this is another match that I don't feel that confident about, honestly, just because we don't really have a clear number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe it's Braun Breaker, but I think that match is going to happen at WrestleMania, and if it's not going to happen at WrestleMania, then I think Chad Gable is going to challenge Gunther at WrestleMania, which I don't know. This whole Intercontinental title situation is really starting to baffle me because I think they want to get the title off of Gunther so he can challenge for like one of the world titles, and it's just like you want to take it off him, but you don't want to rush it because he's had such an insane run over 600 days as Intercontinental Championship or as champion, and he's by far the longest reigning IC champion in history. No one's really going to touch this record for a very long time, so it's going to be interesting to see who takes the title off of him and how they go about it. Now, I know this is a feud that we have gotten before, but we didn't necessarily get the end of this feud. It was kind of odd. Gable really hit rock bottom, and then they seemingly just like dropped this feud out of nowhere. I don't know why. I think they're going to go back to it, whether it's at the Elimination Chamber or it's at WrestleMania, but I feel pretty confident that it's going to be at the Elimination Chamber because I think that Braun Breaker is going to challenge Gunther at WrestleMania, and I don't think it's going to be a case where Braun Breaker challenges Gunther at the Elimination Chamber and then he loses and then challenges him again at WrestleMania and then wins. I think we're trying to get like a little one-off feud for Gunther before the WrestleMania event, although I wouldn't be surprised if Gunther doesn't wrestle on this show just because I think him beating Gable would really hurt Gable as well, and it would kind of make me a little sad. So I think this is a match that is going to happen, but deep down I kind of hope it doesn't, unless Master Gable wins. Thank you. And so the final non-Elimination Chamber match, and I think this is going to be the main event. It absolutely has to be the main event. It's going to be Rhea Ripley defending her title against Nia Jax. Now, Rhea's 100% going to be on the card. She's on the poster for the Elimination Chamber event, and initially I was kind of thinking maybe she defends her title in the Elimination Chamber, which would be super sick, but I don't necessarily think that's what's going to happen. I think that the Women's Elimination Chamber event is going to see who's going to be the new number one contender for Rhea Ripley, because I'm pretty confident that Bayley is going to challenge Io Sky at WrestleMania, so then that leaves Rhea Ripley with needing to have an opponent for WrestleMania. So I think they're going to do that for the Women's Elimination Chamber, and I think you're obviously still going to have Rhea on the Elimination Chamber card. It's in her home country, so I think that she's going to main event, and I think she's going to take on Nia Jax. And I was trying to kind of like debating between if it's going to be Nia or if it's going to be someone like Liv Morgan. But the problem is Rhea's kind of a heel, maybe more of like a tweener now, but she's definitely not a babyface. But she's going to walk into Elimination Chamber as a babyface. And so I think it's tricky to have someone go up against her. Like, I don't think they're going to have Liv Morgan do it because Liv Morgan is such a big babyface, and so she's obviously going to get probably booed out of the stadium at the Elimination Chamber event, and I don't think Liv Morgan would necessarily recover from that. So I think if you did Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at the Elimination Chamber, Liv Morgan would then have to turn heel after that because I don't think she'd be able to recover and stay as a babyface. So I think they're going to have someone who is a heel challenge Rhea Ripley, and I think that it feels like it's gonna be Nia Jax. Now, WWE has been giving Nia Jax a nice push ever since she got re-signed to the company, and she's probably doing the best work of her career currently. So it seems like Nia Jax is the best person to challenge Rhea Ripley at the Elimination Chamber because she's already heel, and this is probably going to be the moment potentially where they kind of transition Rhea from a heel into a babyface, or at least she will make that transition into a tweener. All right, so for the Women's Elimination Chamber match, like I said, I think Liv Morgan is going to compete in this match along with several other stars. So I think that Zelina Vega, Shotzi, Bianca Belair, Natalya, and Becky Lynch are all going to compete in this match as well. Now, I can also see them doing a situation where it's like the ghosts of Rhea Ripley's past, because she's kind of just been beating everybody up on Monday Night Raw over the past 4 or 5 months. So people like Tegan Nox, Ivy Nile, you've got people like Zoe Stark. Like, I think it could be a situation where all of the women's wrestlers that she's just decimated over the past few months could all come back to try to compete for a #1 contender to challenge her at WrestleMania. However, I think that these are going to be the 6 women in this match, and I think that Becky Lynch is ultimately going to win. Now, I think it's clearly going to be either Liv Morgan or Becky Lynch who's going to challenge Rhea at WrestleMania. I'm trying to figure out, I think it kind of just comes down to if Jade Cargill's going to be on the card, because I know we got a good little standoff between her and Bianca Belair. However, she did eliminate Becky Lynch, so there's like, maybe they're going to go Jade versus Becky before they do Bianca versus Jade, which I don't know. We also got the stare down between Gunther and Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble last year, and nothing really came of that. So I'm not going to be shocked if we don't get Bianca versus Jade just yet. They may want to build Jade up a little bit before she actually challenges Bianca Belair, which that match is going to be absolutely awesome. Maybe we get it at SummerSlam, but it's going to be a box office event. But I think this match is going to be a lot of fun. I think it has a chance to steal the show. Just like I said, the Women's Royal Rumble match was going to be the best match on the card. It absolutely was. I think the Women's Elimination Chamber match has the opportunity to do that. And like I said, I think that Bayley's going to challenge Io, and I think that this match is going to determine the #1 contender for Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I don't think they're necessarily going to throw Jade in this match as probably one of her first matches in WWE. I don't know if she's going to get another match prior to the Elimination Chamber, so I don't think they're going to throw her in a structure like this, being so new in the company. But that's why I think we're going to potentially get some of the rising stars on Raw to compete in this match along with Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch. And so for the Men's Elimination Chamber match, I think it's going to be between Bronson Reed, AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Jey Uso, and Randy Orton. Now, I think the winner of this match is going to challenge Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and honestly, I think that Drew's going to win. Bronson Reed's from Australia, so he's obviously going to be on this card, and I think what better way than to have him in the Elimination Chamber match. I believe he was in the match last year, but I think this match is probably going to be the best match on the card. I don't think it's going to be the main event. Like I said, Rhea vs. Nia is probably going to be the main event. I think Drew McIntyre wins this match to then challenge Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. And who knows, he may even win. He may even beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. He kind of deserves it because he's been doing what is probably the best work of his WWE career over this past month or two, and I think that he probably deserves a world title run, and it makes sense because Cody's going to win at WrestleMania, and so if Drew wins, you'll have a heel and a face as your two main champions in the company for the men. So that's why I think that Drew's going to be in this match. I think he's going to win. I think that someone from the Judgment Day is going to be in this match, which is why I picked Dirty Dominic Mysterio. I wouldn't be surprised if like Finn Balor or Damian Priest is in this match. I just think they're going to compete on the card. If they're not defending their tag titles, then potentially Damian Priest is going to be in the match, which I don't know how much I love considering he's already Money in the Bank, Mr. Money in the Bank, or Senor Money in the Bank, I should say. But I don't know. It also makes sense because why wouldn't he also want to get another shot at a world title? Let's say he enters this match, he wins, he faces Seth. In his first match, he loses to Seth, and then he could just cash in and get another opportunity right away, which makes sense of like because I also saw people complaining about why would he want to be in the Royal Rumble. Well, don't you want a main event WrestleMania? Like, you can also, would just be getting 2 chances to win one of the main titles for WWE. So it totally makes sense. But I think that Drew's going to win. Potentially Randy could win also. That wouldn't shock me. I don't think Jay's going to win. I don't think Bronson Reed's going to win. AJ could also win, which would be super sick. Like, there's a lot of great options now that CM Punk is sort of out of the equation for Seth Rollins. So I think they're definitely going to have this match to then determine the number 1 contender. Obviously, Drew and Seth already have a history, and now that Drew is kind of full heel mode, he is an absolute menace if you follow him on social media. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top, but I do think it's going to be Drew, and I do think he is probably going to beat Seth at WrestleMania because he deserves it. But that's going to wrap up my early match card predictions for the Elimination Chamber. You let me know in the comments down below, what match do you think is 100% going to happen at Elimination Chamber? And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so never miss a single video. Like I said, we upload new videos every Tuesday and every Friday. Plus, we upload short form videos every single day of the week. So you want to make sure to subscribe so you never miss an upload. With that being said, I will catch you in the next video.